Hello and welcome back to the History of Humankind. In the last episode, we discussed the domestication of cereals and animals up to the invention of the wheel, first for making pottery and later for transportation. In today's episode, we will discuss the invention of writing and therefore the start of history. Historians, before the invention of writing, had to rely on archaeological findings. Pottery or megalithic temples or abandoned cities to speculate on how people lived and the events that occurred. But after the invention of writing, historians now have documents, first-hand accounts from the people that lived these events. So it is a very important development in civilization. And so today's lecture covers a very short period, 3,500 to 3000 BCE, but it is a very important one. So let's get started. With the emergence of towns and increased demand for raw materials, including metal ores from sometimes distant sources, trading networks developed in southern Mesopotamia. Around 3500 BCE, ancient Sumerians create a cylindrical stamp seal to record these trading transactions for administrative and commercial purposes. Around 3300 BCE, in the world's first city known as Uruk, in Sumer, in Uruk, we see the development of a pictographic language, a very primitive language. Signs look like the things they represent. So a sign of a man or a picture of a man represents a man, or a picture of the sun represents the sun. So it's quite primitive, but it is the first language written down. And around 3200 BCE, the Egyptians create a similar pictographic language that we now call hieroglyphics. We'll go into greater detail of Egyptian hieroglyphics in the next episode. Around 2900 BCE, the Sumerian pictographic language develops into something more sophisticated known as cuneiform. Cuneiform, represented here in the upper right-hand corner. And it developed as the curved outlines of the pictographic signs, right? And they changed into a series of wedge-shaped lines. So we have wedge-shaped lines created using a stylus and printed into soft clay that hardens into a more durable tablets that still exist today. And it is through the cuneiform language that we have the world's very first epic poem transmitted, based on the king of Uruk, Gilgamesh. The Epic of Gilgamesh is transmitted to us on a clay tablet, very much like the one you see in the upper right-hand corner, using this wedge-shaped language of cuneiform. Another important development, if we take a step back, is in 3000 BCE with the invention of standardized weights based on grains, and standardized measurements based on the cubit. If you read the Old Testament, Noah and his sons build the ark using the cubit measurement, which is the length of a man's forearm. So around 3000 BCE, we see the development of writing and also, in my mind, mathematics with the standardized weights and measurements. As these towns develop and trading networks become more complex, the citizens need a way to keep track of their grains. So this is a very important development in civilization. In the next episode, we will go more in depth into ancient Egyptian civilization. So thank you for listening, and see you in the next episode.